Stop it.
Stop it. Come on. I'm too shy. Ah, you're too much. Too much. Oh, way too much. Way too much. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a special episode of True Dungeon Talk with Trent. My name is Trent. I'm a huge fan of the game called True Dungeon and an avid collector of tokens, as you can see from the wall here of binders and tokens. In today's episode, we are celebrating 5 years of Trent tokens. It is, at the time of this recording, May 14th, 2022. And I started TrentTokens.com May 14th in 2017. So this is the AMA, the Ask Me Anything, and the 5th anniversary free drawing. So this is my way to say thank you to all of my supporters, all of my True Dungeon friends, and I hope a great way to participate with each other and have some fun. I've got a bunch of questions that have already been emailed to me, so I will try my best to get to all of those. And also in the chat, please type question and then your question after that. And speaking of that, I'm going to try something new here. Let me pull this up. There's a feature in my program that I started a couple minutes later. I'm sorry, I was trying to make this work. So here are a bunch of questions already, and in the chat, if you could tell me if you could read this on your screen, whatever screen you're looking at, I think that would be kind of fun. And I wonder if I scroll. Yeah, so when I scroll, you'll see that scroll too. So in the chat, please tell me if you can see this and if you can read it and if this works for you here. Oh, actually, I just realized I'm covering up. Hold on one second here. I'm going to try to fix this. I'm going to try to fix this live. We're going to fix it live. Let's see if I can do this. Hold on. Try to fix it live. Yeah, let me move this up here. Yeah, okay, I'll do that. How's that? So there we go. Yes, can read it. I can read it. Great. Good on my side. Awesome. So speaking of that, let me scroll to the top here and say hello to my True Dungeon friends here. Eric has a question. How did you first learn about True Dungeon? I've got that on my list. So Eric, we're going to get to that question. So hello, Eric. Hello, Brian. Hello, Chris. And hello, Snake Eyes. After your first, what was your most memorable in-person TD run and why? Okay, good question. Okay, we'll get to that in a second. Let me finish my hellos. Hello, Aaron. Gilstrap, hello. Stephen Watkins, hello. Howdy. Are you from the South, Stephen Watkins? Because that's a Southern phrase. I am from the South. Am I already shiny here? It's hot here. So I know howdy. I know y'all, all kinds of other good Southern phrases. Hold on while I sip my water. Let's see. Ken, hello. Chris Samir, hello. David, hello. Thomas, hello. Brian, hello. Kumi, hello. Congrats on 5 years. Thank you. Ian, hello. Oh my God. Raven, most amazing human on the planet. Chris, hello. Myron, let's see. Ian, Myron again. Stevens. Okay, I think I said hello to everybody. So hello, everyone, and I'm glad we got this chat interface here working. So yes, we're going to do the AMA. We're going to start that right now. But I wanted to start out with some icebreaker questions. For those of you who have seen other interviews that I've done, I always do some icebreaker questions. So I'm going to give icebreaker questions to myself. Steven says Austin, Texas, and Arkansas. Yeah, notice how I say Arkansas. It's
me being funny.
All right, so icebreaker questions. Favorite color, blue. Correct. Favorite book or movie? Oh, I forgot. I even wrote myself a note here because I keep forgetting this. Algorithm stuff. Click like and share and tell all your friends and enemies. One of these days I'm going to remember to do that like a normal YouTuber because the subscribing and all of that liking and sharing stuff is very good for the channel. And hopefully, obviously, if it's not obvious, my goal is for this to get the word out about True Dungeon so we can just, keep this thing going as wide as possible for something that we all love, obviously. So back to this. Favorite color blue, favorite book or movie. I'm going to cheat here. I can do that. I'm going to give you both. Book, The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, who wrote another book after this. It's now part of a trilogy. I've just found out there was a prequel to this book, so I love that, and he's done some other work too that is really great. Movie, I got two that I love. Citizen Kane for its mastery of the art form. I know it's kind of cliche, but shoot me. And here's something that may not be cliche. It's definitely my favorite movie as well, is Fiddler on the Roof. Now, for those of you who know me, I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but I just adore Fiddler on the Roof because it's so operatic. It's so big. I mean, it's the father is questioning his religion and his family and fighting for their family, and the daughters are getting married. I mean, it's just such a huge, wonderful film, and incredible songs as well. Last show that I binge watched, Severance, Apple TV Plus, highly recommend it. Cats or dog, both. I love cats because they're so cuddly and they just take care of themselves. But dogs also are amazing because they're dogs. You can go walking with them. I mean, I've had Great Danes, Hound dogs, Doberman Pinschers. I'm not a big fan of the small dogs because those are just cats to me. Speaking of animals, name of my first pet, Abraham, which was a cat, and it turned out Abraham was a she and had a bunch of kittens, so I named her poorly. Favorite types of music, I love all types of music, but my favorite's probably classical or opera. I love big productions and amazing voices, so that's probably my favorite. Favorite food, fried chicken and pizza. For sure. Favorite hobby, True Dungeon. Duh, right? That's my favorite hobby. I also have another little section here that I titled Things You Probably Didn't Know. So go ahead and ask the questions in chat, and we will get to those questions. And I will also do the questions that people who sent questions ahead of time, and then of course after the questions, after the AMA, we're going to do a drawing for the 5 winners of the 5th anniversary free drawing for Trent Tokens. So again, thank you everyone who has participated over the past year, and that's going to be fun. All right, so here's something crazy, a couple of crazy things that you might not have known. Both of my pinky toes don't touch the ground. Just let that sink in for a moment. Yeah, I only walk on 8 toes. My pinky toes are kind of poked up like that for some reason. I don't know why. It's just born that way. And I only walk on 8 toes, so which is probably amazing for someone of my size. I was a Boy Scout, and for those of you who know about Boy Scouting, the Eagle Scout is the highest that you can get in the Boy Scouts, and it's a great honor. There's a number of things you have to do in order to become an Eagle Scout, and one of the final things that I had to do was a project, like a community project. And instead of doing the community project, I did everything else but that. So I was 17, about to finish high school, and instead of doing that, I joined the Navy. That's the next thing you may not know. I joined the Navy. So I graduated high school at 17, joined the Navy, traveled all over the Atlantic Ocean, Hawkinsvern, Norway, London, Bermuda, Bahamas, Puerto Rico, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Our boat was basically a party boat. So it was pretty fun. When I got out of the Navy, I started a consulting business, a computer consulting business. This was in the 90s, where people didn't even know how to use a mouse. So, I taught everybody how to do all kinds of fun stuff in the city, which is Frederick, Maryland. And then I discovered acting, which is the answer to one of the questions lower on my list here. I did acting, improv, sketch, went to Chicago, did acting, sketch, and plays there, studied at Second City, went to LA, did film, eventually went to film school. So those are things that I think maybe people didn't know. So I want to let me go to this little screen here, and I'm going to go through the submitted questions. Feel free to keep on asking the questions in chat, and I'm going to get to those as well. Some of these might be duplicated, but hopefully we get to them all. All right, the first one on the list here, I'm going through these in order that I received them. This is from Basic Braining from the TD Forum. He says, "Hi, Trent. Did you play any collectible games before True Dungeon? And if so, do you still keep up with any?" The answer is no. I never played any collectible games. I assume you mean like Magic or Pogs or anything. Obviously, we can collect them. The answer is no. I did not do that. Yeah, growing up, we were pretty poor and we didn't have games and things, so it's not something I discovered until later in life. Is that fan annoying? Anybody else crazy in the brain? Hold on, I'm gonna move. See, you can see it now, but I want to move it. Hold on, is that better? I think I made it worse. All right, I made it worse. Okay, nobody move. Okay, that's better. All right. So, yeah, maybe I have a little OCD. Maybe just a little bit. So there's the answer to that. Next up is Arnold. Arnold says, "Happy anniversary, Trent Tokens." Thank you, Arnold. He says, "I feel incredibly lucky to have started collecting tokens around the same time Trent Tokens arrived in the TD verse. Your site and devotion to the TD community are a blessing. The studio and YouTube content have been the cherry on top." Thank you. That's very kind of you to say. He says, "Thank you. Thanks so much for everything you do, Trent. You're welcome, and thank you." He says he's got a million questions, but he'll just limit them to a couple. The first one here, I think this was something that a lot of people, you guys can still, fan is fine, stay cool. Yeah, stay cool. I think a lot of people want to know this. Do you operate Trent Tokens in the red? Most certainly. Yes, for sure. I think for anyone who does any type of reselling, actually maybe that's probably a couple people who are in the red, or in the black, but I'm not sure. I don't know their finances, but I'm definitely in the red. It's just not something, I don't know, I care about, I guess. And he says, with all the community givebacks, discounts, GHC reception, your time, and awesome YouTube content, do you actually make any money? Definitely not. But I will say this is the 5th year, and this is the first year that I've actually had, and I might have mentioned this before in a different video, where I had enough extras to actually make a legendary to sell. So what I mean is every year I buy tokens. I don't buy them to resell them. I buy tokens for my collection, and I want to, make all the different things, all the exchange tokens, and legendaries, etc. And I'm always out of gold, so most years I have no gold. But over the past couple of years, I've been able to save up, and this was the first year where, for the first time ever, I actually made a legendary to sell it. So I felt like that was kind of a success. So maybe not too deep in the red anymore. Let's see. Now here, this is a popular question. I got this a couple of times. When did you play your very first game of D&D? What version and what class? This was 2015, and I was talking to my wife about this because I was trying to remember how it went down. So this would have been October of 2015. I was playing D&D online. I'm a big online gamer. Love all the online games. I've played them all. WoW, you name it. I was in like vanilla beta in WoW. And I was playing D&D online, and my wife said, you should do something else. And I said, well, this actually has a live version, and she wanted me to do something with like people, I guess, live people. And I said, this game has a live version. I never played it though. I guess, as I mentioned a few moments ago, growing up, we were, pretty poor family, so we never had like toys and stuff and games. So she a few minutes later came back and said that she found a gaming store that was close to here, and I had never even thought that. I don't know. I just never thought that existed. It's just not something that crossed my mind. And she said, yeah, they have D&D stuff there. And I was like, wow. So this would have been, I think, about 8 p.m.-ish at night. And we called them, and they said they close at 9. And I said, I'm on the way. So she and I, we went there. I opened the door, and I was just, it was like heaven, you know. I'm sure all of you who've seen gaming stores for the first time thought it was heaven-like. So then I saw the D&D shelf, and I bought one of every buck. And then I went back to that, you know, friendly local gaming store, watched a few people play, because I was too afraid to do it by myself, you know, and they kept saying, no, you could do it. I was like, no, I just want to watch. So I actually watched a couple, and then... So that I did that maybe 1 or 2 nights, and then I came back and I actually sat in on a game, sat in on a couple games, and then I eventually found this table that I kind of really meshed with, and then that turned into a home game. So, but that was 5th edition, and it was a fighter, human fighter was the first thing that I played, who actually died, got turned to dust because, you know, I was new and I didn't know what a beholder was. They're bad, by the way.
Don't fight a beholder.
So I was turned to dust, and then I think something else bad happens. Like the dust just disappeared. It was just a mess. But then the clerics at the table did the thing where you can call your god, and they rolled high, and it was between me and two of us died, and one of us could come back to life. And I said, well, how about we roll the d6? So he and we rolled the d6, and I came back to life. And I came back to life as a dwarf because of this part of the story that I was doing some things that I could be respectful to dwarves. So it was amazing. So that was my first class, and in that class he's probably 18 or 19, something like that, sitting on the shelf, retired. He's you know, he's there in case he's needed. All right, so up there, my wife says, congratulations, I remember that night. Oh, it was my birthday? Oh, okay. So see, my wife, she's got the good memory. I can't remember anything. So that would have been October 16th. Wow, so I guess on my birthday I was playing the game, and so she was probably like, do something. So now it's her fault. So, because D&D turned into True Dungeon, and now there's dragons all over the house and tokens everywhere. So everything is your fault, my wife. Speaking of her, that's the next question here. What is the best meal you've ever had cooked by your wife, Jen? I would say something that I've called Jinchon chicken. There's a Korean chicken place called Bonchon chicken, and it's Korean style chicken. It's really yummy. There's a sword garlic, and there's also a spicy, and she can make both better, of course. So I call it Jinchon chicken, and it's incredible. The next question is, what's the best meal that she didn't cook? Something I call mountain pork. It was in Korea. Long drive up the mountain. There's this real small restaurant, almost like a shack, if you will, and in the back they had this smokehouse, and they would smoke this pork, and I call it mountain pork, and it's just so incredible. One of my favorite dishes on the planet. Honor goes on to say, the episode with Lori was awesome, by the way. She was so generous with her time and shared so many cool insights. Maybe an episode with Laz sometime, and we can see who gets more live watchers. So Laz, there it is. The gauntlet has been thrown down. I interview you, Laz, and then we compare how many watchers have watched Lori's video and your video. All right, so let me jump to the chat here, and then we'll come back to the submitted questions. All right, hold on, let me get there. All right, so I'm going back to the top here. Eric says, how did you first learn about True Dungeon? Okay, so the home game that I mentioned, my buddy Sean, who I met him and a number of other people at the friendly local gaming store, Brooklyn Strategist is the name of it. And then, so we're doing the home game, and so this was October of 2015. So 2016 rolls around, and maybe in the middle of the year or something, he goes, by the way, later this year, he and some friends are going to this gaming convention called Gen Con, and maybe I would like it. And I said, well, sure, gaming convention. Again, I had no idea there was such a thing. And he said, also, there's this thing called True Dungeon that he loves to play. And he has a bunch of tokens which are used to play the game. And so I don't need to buy any. But if I want, I could buy a weapon. So then I went online to truedungeon.com, bought a weapon. It was the +2 Death Cleaver. And then the next day I was doing some research and I realized that the +2 Death Cleaver could be turned into a +3 Death Cleaver. And there was also this thing called Treasure. And then,
Slippery slope, man. Slippery slope.
So the rest is kind of history there. So that's how I first learned about True Dungeon. Next question. Brian says, which is your favorite token? Man, oh man. Let's see, can you see this on the chat? I want to make sure that you can see this. Okay, so which is my favorite token? Okay, I have a few, but I'm going to say probably an obvious one, but probably not for the obvious reason. There's a token called Ring of Three Wishes. And it's super, super, super rare. It's rarely exchanged hands, and when it does, it's for an exorbitant amount of money. I actually had an opportunity early on to purchase it for $10K, but I said no because I was very appreciative for the offer, but it was just... I was still pretty new with collecting, and I didn't really know, I guess, how super rare it would be. So I just thought, well, the next time it exchanges hands, I'll get it that time. That's what I thought. But a year or so after that, I was actually gifted the token. Someone named Gary, way back in the day, he was like a crazy token guy, a volunteer, and an amazing steward of the game. And I think he just kind of came back into the True Dungeon ecosystem and was looking online at the forum and I guess he just saw my name and my interaction with people. And I remember him posting, and I saw that he was, someone who had played a long time ago. And anytime someone who played a long time ago pops up, I usually send them a forum post and say, hi, I hope you don't mind me reaching out of the blue like this, but, I'm collecting tokens, and the older ones are really hard to find. So if you have any older ones, I'd love to, talk to you. But for some odd reason, I didn't reach out at first because I just wanted to play it cool,
Play it cool, man.
And one day, I guess he asked a question in a post, and then I answered in the post, and I felt like that was my way. Okay, now I'm not some crazy weirdo. I interacted with you in the post. Now I'm going to send you a forum post or a PM. And we just chatted for the next year or so. I think we chatted on the phone as well, and email and forum posts. Super nice guy. And I ended up getting a bunch of tokens from him. And then one day he wrote a riddle on the forum. I read over it. I didn't really think about it too much because I'm really bad with puzzles and riddles. That's why I always play Barbarian. But the answer to the riddle was me, and that he was giving me the Ring of Three Wishes, which was actually gifted to him as well. So that's my favorite token, and I treasure it. It is it's very special, and it's not because it's so rare. Maybe because it's a little bit because it's so rare, but because of what it symbolizes. And it's not that just that he gave something to me, but I think that's the True Dungeon community. Everyone is very kind to each other, and they're very giving. If someone goes, oh, I need this or I need that, people reach out and go, I'll be glad to help you. I have extra. And of course, at the table, when you first start playing True Dungeon, you have 10 tokens and you open them and you're playing the fighter and you have a wand. What are you going to do with that wand? You're going to give it to someone who can use a wand. I mean, it's just so great. So it's like the beginning of True Dungeon is sharing, teamwork, and having fun. So to me, that's what that token symbolizes. Just the whole True Dungeon community. Sorry, that took a long time to answer, but that's my answer. after your first, what was your most memorable in-person TD run and why? As you can imagine, I have a bunch of TD runs. And, I had mentioned I wanted to do some photos, and I completely forgot. So let me do some now. Let me go to this photo here. I'm going to say True Dungeon Celebration 2017. This is, I think it's April of 2017. This is before I launched the website. But as you can see, I have a Trent Tokens t-shirt there. I set up a little table and I was giving out mugs, which is one of the prizes today, by the way. And we went on, this is a behind the scenes tour. Here's the behind the scenes tour of it. You can recognize a lot of the faces there. My buddy, and by the way, this is my buddy Darren, my real life buddy Darren, who, by the way, got me into all of the online games. So he was a terrible influence. And here is behind the scenes at the TD workshop, an amazing experience. And this is one of those runs. So there's like a wine cave there, and we went through the wine cave and the different rooms. It was amazing. There's SmackDown, Fiddy, a lot of people there. Hello, everybody. And here's me and Darren looking like idiots. And so, yeah, I would say this run here. And here's the workshop. If you haven't been to the workshop, check it out. It's unbelievable. It's really, really cool. So I highly recommend it. Let's see here. Let's go back to this one. All right, next up. Actually, I want to go to this one here. Sorry. Have you ever played any other class beside Barbarian? I have, very briefly and not too often. Like a fighter or draw fighter or, maybe a paladin. But I usually do Barbarian. I just like to keep it simple. Slide, roar, and rage. All right, so let's see. Good to see you. Love the intro music, Tom. Thank you. Chris, question. If you could not play Barbarian, which class would you play? If I couldn't play Barbarian anymore, I'd say maybe Draw Fighter because you can taunt, which, is kind of fun. Brian says, I didn't realize you had to do a purchase in last year to enter. Assumed it was a tune-in and be available to win. I didn't purchase anything. All right, Brian, don't tell anybody. I'm going to add you to the list here. I don't think anybody in chat will mind. Brian Goss. Okay, you have now been added. Okay. Let's see here. Where are we? Congrats on 5 years. Thank you. Belinda, congratulations on 5 years. Thank you. Aaron says congrats on 5 years. Thank you. Raven says, woohoo. Hi, Trent. I get to watch you live for your special 5th anniversary. Thank you, Raven. It's speaking of an amazing True Dungeon community, what a prime example there. Next up, we have a question from Kit Kumi. Question: if you could help write one adventure/run for True Dungeon, what would the theme of the run be and why? Oh, man. Probably time traveling. I know that might be very generic, but I'm a big fan of time traveling. So I don't know if that is a theme or not, but yeah, I would say some type of time traveling thing. So there's that. Chris says, where did you first hear about True Dungeon? I answered that earlier from my buddy Sean, who was our home dungeon master. Ian says, question: if you could create your own artifact token, what would you like some of the bonuses to be? This is easy. I would only I would only want one bonus. And the bonus would be that everyone in the party gets max treasure. That's it, and I would call it Binder of Sharing, because I have a binder, and in it is all the treasure tokens. And when I go on runs, one of the things that brings me great joy is that it's got all the treasure tokens in it. So, and 10 of each, so everyone gets max treasure if they want it. Most people don't say no. I don't ask them to give me any back. I don't like that. So there's my answer there. Chris Samir says congrats on 5 years and thank you. Chris says sadly blurry on my telephone screen. Okay, talk about the chat. Sorry about that. I think there's a better way for me to do this, so hopefully I'll be doing this in a better way in the future. Okay, so let's see. Thomas says, hello from your first customer. It's true. Tom was my first customer in May of 2017. I think the site started May 14th, and I believe the first purchase was May 15th. Tom. So thank you, Tom. And Brian says, I can't believe it's been 5 years. Congrats. Thank you. I know. Let's see. Eric says, where in the South are you from? By the way, this is Kim. Eric's computer works better than mine. So Kim sold Eric's computer. Good job, Kim. Okay, so Kim, where am I from? I was born in Orlando, Florida, and I was raised in southern Georgia, a place called Valdosta, Georgia, right at the Georgia-Florida border. And then in my, the summer before my junior year, I believe, we moved right over the Florida border, and then my mom would take me to school every day. It was really close. It was, comparatively close, maybe 30 minutes in a car. So I grew up. My hometown is Valdosta, Georgia, in deep south of Georgia. So that's where I'm from. And if anyone has any other questions, let me know. What kind of hound dog did you have? Remember Smokey and the Bear? One of those. I don't know what they're called. I call it the Smokey and the Bear hound dog. His name was Fred. I think that the Fred was also in Smokey and the Bear. Smokey and the Bandit? Am I saying that wrong? Smokey Bandit Bear? Oh my God. I'm a horrible Southerner. Question, what was your job in the Navy? My job in the Navy was a data processing technician, which is just nerd talk for computer input guy. And I did data input on a really old-fashioned screen with the big with the tapes and everything. That's how old. Well, I mean, there were PCs in the world, but in my Navy job we were still using those old-timey computers. Chris says he lived in Fort Meade, Maryland. Yep, that's very close to Frederick. Brian says MOS. So when I first read that, Brian, by the way, I thought it was the film acronym, which means no sound, and I thought you were saying no sound. But now I know that's Army talk for MOS. So it was DP. DP. I don't think they have a DP anymore. Data processing technician. And I got out. I was E5, petty officer second class, and it was time to either re-up, to re-enlist, or to get out, and they were having an early out. And what I did was I had about a year to decide, and I said, well, I'm going to start a computer consulting business because a lot of people were getting out and not doing well in lives. And I said, well, I don't want to do that. I want to do something. I want to plan ahead. So I was working in the Frederick, Maryland area in the Navy, and then so I started the computer consulting business on the side, and I said, well, I'll give it 1 year. If it's successful in 1 year, I'll get out. If it's not successful, then I'll re-up in the Navy. It was very successful very quickly, and before you know it, I had 2 full-time jobs. So I definitely got out, and then that's what I did right after the Navy with the computer consulting. Speaking of the Navy, let me... Before I do, I found some old photos that I thought you guys might like here. This is me at age 5. Look at those ears. Man, oh man. those ears brought me a lot of pain. Eventually, I mean, there's still kind of poke out here, but yeah, those were painful years. Here, speaking of being in the South, if this isn't a Southerner, what is, right? That's a Southerner. There's me with a duck. And here's me at 17 in the Navy. This is when this is me at boot camp. Now, what I'm going to try something here. Tom says ears made for headphones. I found an old video. It's a VHS video, so it's a pretty bad copy. I'm going to play it here, and I want you guys, if you don't mind, in the chat, tell me if you can hear this. So this is 1986. This would have been, let's see, what, June, July, maybe early fall 1986. This is in the photo here, in the front and center here with the rifle in the sky. That's me. I was in a company called Triple Threat. And for all the Navy people, they'll know what that is. When you graduate boot camp, one of the companies does a show. In this company, there are musicians who play, in the band, and they play all the Navy music. There are, God, what's this next one? Is it people who sing? Oh my God, I can't remember. I think people who sing, but I can't remember. Somebody in chat maybe could remind me. And then the third group of people is this group that you see here. We were like the rifle team, and so we do precision drills, and I had done this in high school. I was in NJROTC, Junior ROTC, in high school, and we had a drill team there where we were spinning rifles and doing all kinds of things. I think we actually placed second or third in a national competition in high school, my junior year maybe. So I had a lot of experience doing this. It's one of the reasons I got into this company. But the moves we were doing were, I'm sorry to sound like a big-headed nerd, but they were like real simple and real easy, and I was really bored. So I asked the drill instructor, hey, could I do a solo? And he says, no way. No. And I said, okay. And I said, can you, you're in boot camp, you got to shut up and do what you're told. And I said, well, can I ask why? Because I was super bored. And he said, well, the last time we did it, somebody dropped their rifle, and they said they'll never do it again. And I said, well, what if I came up with a little show and then showed you, like auditioned, if you will, and if you don't like it, it's out. I won't ask you again. He said, okay. And then I showed him, and then he said, this is good, let's do it, and we made it part of the show. So this is a video, build not Fort Detrick. It's not top secret anymore. It's been declassified. Site R. So that's near... it was a place that I could neither confirm or deny, but now it's been declassified. So here we go. So yeah, I'm going to play this video, and hopefully you guys can hear it and see it. Here we go. So this is me at boot camp doing a solo. I'm 17 here. Look how skinny I am. 17 years old. So this is like the intro moves. Get in the crowd. This is a really bad VHS tape, obviously. That's a double crazy six, is what that is. And here's just a helicopter spin with a couple of flourishes. And this is a real rifle, by the way. It's not a toy rifle. With a bayonet on it, so you can hurt yourself. It's like 15, 16 pounds. There you go. Yay! So that's me, age 17, in fall of 2000. No, wait. what? Oh my God, what year? 1986. Yeah, so I messed up my years there. So yeah, 1986. I'm 17. It's my boot camp. The company does 3 shows. The third show is your own graduation. So that was my graduation, 1986. And I was really cool, you know. I'm like, look at me, I'm fancy. And I remember getting onto the bus to drive back to, our barracks, and all the parents are there. And of course, everyone's high-fiving, great job, or whatever. And I'm just, I'm on cloud 9. And then out the window, my mom goes, "Goodbye, Junior." And that's it. All my cool was gone. No more coolness. Everyone laughed at me forever. So yeah, so I was cool for about like 30 minutes. It was a good feeling. So yeah. All right. So let's see here. Mr. Timothy says we need a gunslinger class. Eric Kim says, "Wow, you're really good at that. I did a lot of practicing." So yeah, that. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Lots of practicing. Bill says excellent. Tom says amazing. We do this at SkullCon. Okay, damn it. All right, so you mentioned SkullCon. So well, let me look at some other good things. Aaron says that's impressive. Chris says wow. Aaron says someone film it if it happens at SkullCon. All right, so speaking of SkullCon, sadly I'm not able to go, and I guess if whoever said that, Tom said that. Work is just too crazy. I can't go. I'm devastated. Work is like super, super insanely busy. So I'm crushed that I can't go, but please have fun without me there. And Chris says, "Gotta love moms." Yep, they know how to put you in your place. Let me go back here and see where we are. To the questions. All right, so... all right, so yep. Bill says, "Told Gygax in 1976 his game was stupid. 3 years later, I was a hardcore player." Oh, yeah, that happens, right? Amanda says, "Question, favorite True Dungeon module to date?" Ooh, gotta say the one with the bridge, right? The Thor one with the bridge, and the NPCs were amazing. The bridge was amazing. So yeah, that module there, I mean, was that the one with the boat? No, I don't think that was the boat. The boat was also a good module, where you're moving the boat around. But yeah, the bridge. Also the fair run, I'm probably saying that wrong. You walk into the first room and all the lights and the tree and the NPCs. That's also an amazing one. So yeah, I think the ones with like very cool immersive sets are probably my favorite, in addition to like a really fun story. So those are some of my favorites. Snake Eyes says, "Thank you, Jen," because Jen says that it was all her fault to get me into D&D and True Dungeon. And Chris says, "What was my role in the Navy?" Computer guy. Steven says, "Ooh, you're making me hungry." Yeah, I know, man. That Jen Chun chicken is amazing. Raven says, "Gary is awesome. Like your level of awesome, Trent." Oh, don't even. That's not possible. Gary's way more awesome. Kim says, "Gary is one of the all-time great TD players." I agree. Snake says, "Great story. TD players are the most generous at paying it forward." Yeah, they are. Speaking of paying it forward, we'll be soon getting to the drawing, which is exactly what that is, the paying it forward. And speaking of the drawing and the gifts that I hand out, the prizes or whatever you want to call them, I imagine that some people who receive them may already have them, or oddly enough might not like it, or for whatever reason, maybe it doesn't work for their class. But what I envision is that they're going to give it to someone else who would like it or who could use it in their class. So that's why, to me, it's just getting it out there, and I'd rather people have fun with it, than sell it. So, all right, so let's see here. Where am I? That was a great story about the token. Thank you, Brian. Myron, another reason Trent is awesome. You're awesome, Myron. And Okay, Jeremy says, question, if True Dungeon made a new class card, what would you want it to be? A new class? Oh, man, I don't know if I'm qualified to answer that question. I don't know if I really could answer that, but I do hear in the D&D world people talking about psionic classes. You know, I'm probably saying that word wrong too. You know, with like psychic abilities, or I'm playing Eberron right now with my home game. So the Artificer is kind of a cool class, or any type of class. You know, one class that I really loved in one of my favorite online games of all time was Dark Age of Camelot. There was a shaman class, shaman class, so maybe that could be a class who did dots, you know, damage over time, really great dots, and also did a lot of buffs for the party. So maybe something like that. Maybe that would be my answer, like a shaman who buffs and does dots. So yeah, that would be my answer to that one. If you like time travel, check out a series of books that starts with Island in the Sea of Time. Ooh, thank you, Ian, for the recommendation. Brian, question, have you solved a puzzle or helped solve a puzzle that you got excited about? Okay, good question. I am, like I said, self-professed terrible at puzzles, but I actually have solved a couple. I can't remember. Usually they're first room ones, though. And I think I've only, like, solved with like no other help or assistance from someone else. I think only one, but I have participated in helping solve puzzles before by just sitting there and thinking and listening and saying, well, what about this? And then that will spark something else. So even someone terrible at puzzles like me can contribute and say, well, what about this? And then that might spark someone else to to continue to add on. And then as a group, as we all know, the group really solves it. So I have helped a little bit, but not too much. I'm a pretty good slider, if I say so myself. So that's where my help comes in, I think, the most is the combat. Myron says, I love that artifact idea. I have a binder called Party Tokens, but I like your name better, Binder Sharing. Yep, Binder Sharing. I love it. Bill says, congrats, wow, 5 years. He's in Davenport, right next door to Orlando. Yep, Bill, thank you. And David says, if somehow your Death Cleaver got eaten by a rust monster, what is your next barbarian weapon choice? Great question, David. This has happened before in the True Grind. So what I do is I go to my pack of tokens and I grab the next Death Cleaver. And then that got eaten again. It was incognito. He was just trying to screw with me and kill me and take all my weapons. I think I had maybe 3, but then, I don't know. I forget what I grabbed after that. Next weapon of choice, if my dex is good, if I can bump the dex up, maybe Thor's. But Wellforce Sword, I mean, it's classic. That's a fun one, sword and board, maybe. So, yeah, that would be my answer there. All right, Ross says, when characters cards are designed, what would you like to see for Barbarian? My first thought here is that I don't feel qualified to answer this question. There's so many better tacticians than me to answer this. What would I like to see? I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe something rage-like, something silly, like on the final boss, you do some type of insane amount of damage, but you die, or you're dropped down to 1 hit point or something. So just something barbaric shout, something like that. Bloodhound. Oh, that's right, Bill. Thank you. That's what the dog was. Kim says, was a basset hound. Ah, crap. I think you're right. Bloodhound is the one with the ears. The basset hound is a little different. Like, yeah, see? Very different. See? Who knows how to make the very different noises? Raven says, question. I know you've done some acting. What's your favorite acting role or production which you were involved in? You know what? I actually have some acting photos in case this came up. Let me pull this up. Here's my first monologue in 1995. Look at that hair. Oh my God. Look at that head of hair. This is the fall of 1995, after I think my first or second acting class, oddly enough, in Frederick, Maryland. And yeah, that's where I studied acting. It's an incredible school. It's called the Ensemble School. There's a theater that's connected to the Ensemble School called the Maryland Ensemble Theater, the Met. I was one of the early people involved with that. I helped paint the walls and buff the floors and all that fun stuff. So one of my favorite, was that the question? What's your favorite acting role or production which you were involved in? I think I have a couple of favorites from a play point of view, and I think I actually have a. Oh no, I didn't load that. The Taming of the Shrew, which I think next to Hamlet might have the most lines. Petruchio. I play Petruchio, and this group here, let me pull this up. So this is the Maryland Renaissance Festival, which I know Bill went to, yearly, forever. That year, I can't remember what year this was. Actually, let me tell you about this. Jen, my wife, don't listen to this. So I was doing a play, Midsummer Night's Dream, and there was this girl playing... Oh, what's the role? I can't remember the role. I was playing the leader of the players, and she was the main elf lady. I suck at remembering names. But she had a bunch of tree things around her, stuck to her, and I was just joking one day, and I said, I can't look at a tree the same anymore. And she laughed, and I was like, wait a minute. I know that laugh. So we ended up dating for a while, and she had tried to audition for the Maryland Renaissance Festival a number of times, from what she told me. And she said, would you go with me? I want to do this, scene. I was like, sure. So I go with her, had no idea really what a Renaissance Festival was. I do the scene with her. And there's this, I think another girl came as well from the play. Yeah, she played the lover, the main lover in that play. And but they both didn't get cast, and I did get cast. So I think they were very angry with me. So this is from the Maryland Renaissance Festival. And the woman to my left, she called me one day and said, hey, would you like to do Petruchio, at the local theater where she was? And I was like, yeah, sure. Just give me the dates and I'll audition and go from there. And so hold on, let me make sure this is nothing. Okay. So I said, sure, when is it? And she said, oh, it starts in 2 weeks. And I was like, what? It starts in 2 weeks? It's the huge Shakespeare role? I what? And she goes, please come. And I was like, okay. So I just thought I'll just study my lines 24/7 and do my best. So I go there, and everyone was super nervous. And I think they were just, in hell because their play was about to fall apart. So while I have the script in hand and I'm, they're showing me the blocking for the audition, someone was measuring me. And I think, you know what? I think this group doesn't need someone necessarily to come play Petruchio. I think they need someone to just calm their nerves. So that's one of my most fondest experiences, is playing that role, because it was about community. I think everybody was super nervous because they had been practicing for months, and the Petruchio, they were doing a stunt and he broke his leg, so that's why he couldn't do the role. So stepping into that, and then my other favorite would probably be films that I've written, that I've directed and acted in as well, would be some of my favorites too. Sorry, that was kind of a long one. Bill says he used to party in Frederick, Maryland at the Carroll Creek Dam and the Rabbit's Foot. I know both of those. Me and my nerd friends. Let me show you this. So here's some, I got pictures, on the fly here ready. So this is me and my, Todd is to my right. And then Ben is to my left. This is us going out on a Friday night. We are cool, baby. So they were both Air Force, and I was Navy. There weren't many Navy computer nerds there, but they were Air Force computer nerds. And this is us. Yeah, so we would go out almost every weekend dancing, and we were just too cool for school. We fancied ourselves ladies' mans. We never met any ladies, except I think one time Ben, who's to my left, was really interested into this one girl who was very beautiful and very nice, and I said, go talk to her, and we were, again, nerds and just couldn't talk to anybody. And I said, I'll do it. So I go over there and I introduced them, and they eventually got married and, have a handful of kids too. So congratulations to Ben. So yes, I'm quite familiar with Frederick partying. And here's another photo of Ben and Jennifer. This is 1990. Is this 1990? Yeah, this is probably 1990, 1991, when we were much younger and had hair. Here's another one from around that time frame. Oh my God, look how young we were. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Here's another photo here. This is my Improv Troupe. This is the group of people. A couple of these people were the head people who started the theater. And here's one of my favorite roles as well. So this is where we were doing a David Eyes play, and we were monkeys. And all of my friends, of course, who keep your ego down, said this was my best role when I was playing a monkey. So thank you very much for keeping my ego down. But it was a great role. All right, so I need to get through these questions here because I want to do the drawing. So where are we here? Sorry, I don't want people to miss out on their questions. Okay, party salute. Thank you for your service, Brian. Thank you. Ears made for headphones. You're very right. Gunslinger class, actually amazing. Skullcon, gotta love. Chris cries. I know, sorry. Head of shipping and receiving, porting in. See you Monday, Junior. E. E. This is one of my work buddies who I don't know if he was there at the beginning of Trent Tokens, but he don't tell my boss at work. After work, I would use my work computer to do shipping. So don't tell my boss, okay? So yeah, but yeah. Okay, don't now. Oh crap! Now I just told him. Oh man, I forgot about this. 1, 2, free for all. Well, now you're here. Astral Journey to the Bliss had the bridge. Thank you, Mr. Timothy. That was my favorite. Tom played DOC for years. I'm telling you, me too, buddy. I played that, a decade? Favorite TD module? We answered that one. Astral Journey to the Bliss had the bridge. Myron says, what do you have in your binder of Sharon besides treasure enhancers? I used to have Ring of Heroism in there, but people never used them, so I took them out. And of course I have the Charm of Awakened Synergy, 10 Harlax, and 10 Ari's Candle. I thought about doing a bunch more, but I decided to kind of keep it focused. It's treasure enhancers and hit points, something nice and easy so people don't have to trade out too much stuff. So yeah. Jeff says congrats on all your success. Thanks for all you do for True Dungeon. It's all you, buddy. You created this community, or this place for this community to happen, and it's just the communitizing. Is that a word? Probably not. Bill says, I would like to see flavors, sword and board, and two-handed. Yeah, that'd be cool for the Barbarian. Gilstraff, question, how do you feel about having a Barbarian class ability to throw another character when in rage? I'm all for that. I accept. Better yet, make it throwable. Book, Barb only. That'd be funny. Sure. I can't read. Bill says, did a lot of acting at Silver Spring Stage. Ever make it there? I don't think so. No, I don't think I ever did the Silver Spring Stage. Since 78. Wow. Taming of the Shrew is a classic, Raven. And Chris loves the Maryland Ren Fair. It is very, very amazing. They do great stuff there. The king, the food, all the different, the side shows are amazing. The really world-class talent they attract every year. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go back to the pre-submitted questions, and then we're going to wrap this up and do the drawing. I got this a couple times. Stephen Watkins, Lord of Mistakes, on the forum says, how much would you estimate that you've spent on tokens over the years? When this came in, I thought about it. I don't have an exact number, but easily 200K to 250K is my guess. He says, you are very passionate about TD and found TD in the past 10 years or so. What took up all that passion before you found TD? I would say my acting, writing and directing. I wrote and directed and acted in a few short films. I did some spec commercials. And it's, to be honest, I think if that paid the bills, I'd probably be doing that. But I also love my computer nerd job, and that industry. So it's difficult. But yeah, I would say, yeah, definitely. Speaking of that, I also wrote another film, that I'd like to make one day. It's called The Gamer's Guide to Life. And it's basically these gamers who are doing online gaming, and maybe they're doing True Dungeon or D&D or something. But at the time when I wrote it, it was online gaming, something like World of Warcraft or whatever, who are not very successful in, real life, in relationships, in their work, in their life, etc. And then one day they figure out, well, they have this little guild of 4 or 5 people or whatever, and they're super successful in the game online, and they're wondering, well, how come not in real life? Could we translate some of that? So that's the film, them figuring out how to translate the successes that they have in game in the real life, called The Gamer's Guide to Life. So that's what I would probably like to do, is maybe finish writing that. The next question, do you even make money on Trent tokens? With all these things you give away and treat the community, how is that possible? It's not possible. I do not make money. And Spud, he asked about the first time I played True Dungeon, and he says he played D&D in 77 and 3.5, and what was mine? Mine was 5th edition, and I mentioned that earlier. Tom asked, how did I first hear about TD? I mentioned that. My buddy Sean, who taught me about D&D and True Dungeon. Sorry, hold on. Sorry, wrong button. Jeremy says, yay, Lori named her new vacation home Trent Manor. Yes, I love it. Okay, so let's see. Belinda says, do you have any non-True Dungeon hobbies? What are some of the things you'd like to do that aren't token related? I would say watching movies. By the way, last question, and then we're going to do the drawing. I love watching movies, and I like making movies too, so I like to make more movies. One film that I wrote, it's a short that I'll probably make next. It's called Time for Love, and it's about a very old man who eventually invents time travel, and he wants to remember time traveling. I mentioned that earlier. He goes back in time to convince his younger self to go through with something that he didn't go through, and what that was asking his then girlfriend or his girlfriend to marry him. In his timeline, he didn't have the gumption to do it, and just eventually it kind of fell apart, and it wasn't a very happy life. So he wants to go back in time to convince his younger self to on the night when he had the ring in the pocket, to actually go through with it, because he realizes that one moment of happiness is much better than a lifetime of regret. So that's the premise of a short called Time for Love that I'd love to shoot next. Another hobby used to be restaurants, but my wife is such an incredible cook that I don't like restaurants anymore. So she took away one of my favorite hobbies. And by the way, if you haven't yet, please like and share and subscribe and all that other stuff. It's good for the algorithms. Okay. And all right, fine. One last question, Amanda. Question: favorite TD moment, or when someone did something completely out of the box or awesome surprising? That's a good question. I think I have way too many to pick one, but I'll pick a recent one. And when John, as the beggar, that moment there was such a surprise and such a cool moment. And you didn't know what was going to happen. When you play for as long as we have, maybe you can kind of guess what's next. And you're not always right, but sometimes you are. But with that, you had no idea what was going to happen. So I think that's one of my most fondest, most recent favorite moments in TD. Okay, it is time. Time to do this. Here we go. It is time to do the drawing. We will now do 5 drawings. We're going to do it in reverse order: 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, and 1st. The 5th place winner wins all of this. And if you've seen this graphic here, I've been putting it on all the socials over the past 5 days to show what each winner will receive. Just real quick, it's the limited edition Pirate Chest of Holding, the +1 turkey leg of Smiting, that's an ultra rare, the TD True Fantasy Tavern silver coin, which is a very cool thing from 2005, a Trent Tokens large coffee mug. It's actually bigger than this one here. And the 2022 3X treasure chip, so you get 3 treasure draws. Your choice of a True Dungeon shirt. If you go to TrentTokens.com, accessories, t-shirt, there's a bunch of choices. True Dungeon hat, there's only a few of those left. A 5K bar, because of course, it's 5 years. 5th, 6th, and 7th, Tooth of Cavador. I thought about giving just the 5th because of the 5, but then I thought, well, what about the 6th and the 7th? So I threw in all 3. And then the rest of a lot of this is the exchange tokens: the Charm of Fire Newt, the Lenses of Hunting, the Bead of Greater Binding, the Pirate's Treasure Map, which of course is more treasure, Ring of Last Call, Silver Ship Passage Mirthwood, which is the moment I just mentioned with John the beggar. We have no idea what that does. I guess we'll see. Adventurers Guild button, which gives you bag check at Gen Con and Gamehole Con, and the +1 turkey leg, which was a special pre-ordering gift, and a limited edition from 2017 when I announced Trent Tokens at the True Dungeon Celebration in 2017. I had a little table, and you could roll a D20, a big D20, and it would light up if you would hit the crit, if it would crit. And the little sign said, if you roll a crit, you get a free mug. And for those of you who were there who actually did this, you would roll, and it didn't matter what you roll. I would still give you a free mug. So there's only a few of these left. And this was my homage to the 2005 tokens, which are very cool 2005 mugs, which had a wooden token in the bottom, Mug of Beauty, etc. So those are very rare and very fun. So this is my homage mug to that mug. Okay, so let me pull up my little screen here. Give me a quick second here. All right. Here we go. Ian says, good luck, everyone. 1, 2, free for all. Today's been really up and down, so let's see how this shakes out. All right, here we go. This is everyone who has made a purchase in the past year from May 14th of 2021 to May 13th up to midnight, 11:59 EDT, except Myron did roll a crit. He says that in chat. Except for the person that I just added in chat. There was only one of those people. And here we go. Drum roll.
This is for the 5th place winner.
Good luck, everybody. Phil Norton. All right, so this is 5th. I'm going to write it down, even though I can rewatch the video anyway. So Phil Norton, you win the 5th place prize. So congratulations to Phil Norton. Now I'm going to click remove here, which will remove his name from the prize list here. And now let's go over to 4th. 4th is the exact same thing that 5th is winning. So it's everything that I just said again. But now, so congrats to Phil. Let's see who wins the 4th place prize. I don't know if you can hear. Can you hear it going? I don't know if you can hear that. Mike Scholl. Congratulations to Mike Scholl. All right, so that is the 4th prize. I'm going to remove them from the list. And now we'll go to the 3rd place prize. It's everything that I mentioned moments ago, but at the top is a little different. So the first thing is the same, the limited edition Pirate Chest of Holding. The next few is where the differences are. A +3 turkey leg of smiting. So that's a relic. Ari's honeycomb instead of the silver coin from 2005. Same mug, but for the treasure chips, instead of a 3X, it is a 10X. So that and everything else that the earlier ones, and this is over $1,400 worth, and 4th and 5th were a little over $850 worth. So let's go to 3rd place. Good luck, everybody. Here it is, 3rd place. Andy Strassman. Congratulations to Andy Strassman. And I think everyone knows this, but before I forget, I should mention, so I'm going to remove him. The number of times that you visited the site doesn't count. Everyone just gets 1 entry. So I wanted it to be equitable for everyone. So now we are going to the 2nd. The beginning, there's one change here between the 2nd and the 3rd. It's the 2nd bullet here, the Greater Charm bracelets. So that's a big dog there. But all the rest of the stuff is the same as 3rd. So that bumps it up to over $1,500 worth of prizes. So good luck, everybody. Here goes the 2nd place. Sebastian Romella. Sebastian Romella. That's a lot of letters here. Hold on, I'm writing all these letters down. Congratulations to Sebastian Romella. I will remove. And now we're going to go to the 1st place. So this is all the same as 2nd, except the 2nd bullet is different. This is the Greater Ring of Havoc, which bumps this up to over $1,600. And you know what? I failed to mention at the very bottom, there was a new edition here that I forgot to mention. It says new edition for all winners. So everybody will get these as well. The Dungeon Delving Buttons Series 1. If you haven't seen that yet, go to TrentTokens.com and you could
type in search under buttons, or you could look under accessories. This is a new offering on the website. It's for all you button collectors there. It's each button has artwork and the name of each character. So it's the whole set, and this is series 1, and potentially there will be more series coming in the future, but every winner will also get this. This was something that the crafter threw in, which is very kind of them to do, and it's very nice buttons for all you button collectors out there, and it's one for each class, so it would be great for a guild or a group who likes to do that sort of thing. All right, so this is for the first place winner. Good luck, everybody. The big one. Here it comes. Ian Ferguson is the big winner, the first place winner. Ian Ferguson, congratulations. I'll remove, even though it doesn't matter, because that's it. So congratulations to all of the winners, and a big congratulations to Ian for winning the first prize. But 5th was Phil Norton, 4th was Mike Scholl, 3rd Andy Strassman, 2nd Sebastian Romella, 1st is Ian Ferguson. Congratulations, everyone. Congrats, big time congrats. I really do appreciate everyone tuning in for the special episode, the Ask Me Anything, and the 5th anniversary drawing. I hope we can do another 5, 10, 20 years of this. It's a supreme pleasure. It's all about the True Dungeon community. I think, I think the people here watching the show know that. So let's just continue that love, spread the love of True Dungeon to everyone out there. And of course, don't forget to click subscribe and like and share and all that other good stuff. I really do appreciate it. And thank you very much to everybody in the chat. It was great chatting with you guys. I look forward to Brian says goodbye, Junior. Oh my God. That's what my mom said. And everybody's saying thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. And Tom, that's right. A special how shall I say, thoughts and our heart goes out to Dave, who lost his wife recently. So we're thinking about you and our condolences, and we're here for you, Dave, if we can do anything. Raven says, thanks for the last 5 years of your awesomeness, Trent. Looking forward to seeing you the next time we're in an event together. I too am looking forward to seeing you, Raven, and everyone else as well. Thank you again, everyone. I really do appreciate it. Go True Dungeon, right? Don't forget, one of my favorite things to say is it's really hard to frown if you're smiling. So please smile.